Being able to shut down PA boot over out of the bunch tight end is truthfully one of the biggest skill gaps in online play, no matter what mode you play in Madden. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a tactic that you can use out of any defense, any assignment to help slow down the way that this one-play touchdown beater works. And you can honestly use this tip against any play in the game that you want to. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the super jam win animations and using the press mechanic in Madden 22. Now, a lot of players don't use the press mechanic because they don't know how to properly use it, but this is something that is extremely useful. And I know what you're thinking as you watch these clips. Zan, you're jamming way beyond the legal contact zone. Aren't you going to get flagged when you use this online? And the answer is no. Very rarely will you ever get flagged for using this mechanic. I don't know whether EA forgot to include the penalty.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
When you guys play the game, or what their decision process was for allowing illegal contact. I think it's kind of hilarious that we actually get flagged for illegal contact when we're actually not making illegal contact. But when you use something like this in this video, they won't flag you at all. So you actually can get flagged, but you really have to be egregious with it. I'm talking like 20-25 yards downfield. If you guys play within the 0 to 15 yards on this, you're going to be able to jam people out of the play. So just want to say thank you so much for helping me reach 12,000 subscribers here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. It is the spring of 2022 and we're still pushing upwards with the channel. Things are really growing, not only here on the YouTube channel, but also on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zan Madden, where I also stream Monday through Friday in the afternoons. And obviously on the Gridiron Game Plans website and in our Discord, where there's a ton of awesome community conversation. If you guys could do me a quick favor, make sure you guys, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button as we push for 13,000 subscribers. And we'll see you guys here on the other side of this. Let's go ahead and start off with the PA boot over. Now, I think what's really interesting about this, and it's really key for you guys, and I want to give a shout out to Cole45 over at the Virtual Lab Partner. He put in a lot of the legwork that went into this tip becoming possible for you guys here on this channel. You guys want to take a look at your roster and find players that have not only high press, but through some discussion that I've had with Colt as well, you guys actually want to have a pretty good strength advantage and also probably a weight advantage as well. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use Denzel Ward. He's 190 pounds, so not exactly a heavy corner, pretty average, but he has a phenomenal press rating. Well, maybe phenomenal is an exaggeration. He's got a good press rating. It's going to come in at 85. Colt has kind of isolated the variable of press and kind of found the threshold. You don't really want to go lower than 80. So make sure that your guy has at least 80 press to make this work. And then obviously some sort of weight advantage is going to play really well for you. So for those of you playing MUT, a user safety with high press at this is a perfect candidate to jam with. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Now I'm going to show you guys what this looks like when you have an advantage in the press versus release. Honestly, even if they have a high release, it doesn't matter that much. But I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. And then I'm going to put in a guy like Chase Claypool, who's like 238 pounds. And I'm going to show you that it changes things a little bit for you. So let's start off here with basically any coverage you want. You can do this out of any assignment. And we're going to choose PA boot over here. And the really cool thing about this is that there's a lot of ways that you can actually jam this play. So when we talk about the standard one play touchdown formula, we're talking about the bomb play that essentially allows you to throw this post route all the way over the top and then use your basically use your wheel route to kind of pull guys down. Now right there, we didn't throw it. We didn't have a velocity ability. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you the basic formula that a lot of players use when they try to run this. Now, what we're going to do here with this particular tactic is we are going to take our user and we're going to line up inside hip on the player that we want to jam. So in the event of this play, let's say that I wanted to jam the pull route, which is the streak that gets out in front of the skinny post. What you're going to do is line up inside shade. And then what you're going to do, and I'm going to pull the pass rush off here, is when the ball is snapped, you're going to hit the A button, which is right here, or the X button on PlayStation, and you're going to hold the left stick up. And you're going to kind of ride that jam animation down the field on the vertical portion of the route. And if you do this correctly, I'm going to try to snap the ball and do this simultaneously, you should get an animation that looks like this. And then you just release them. And what that does is it prevents that safety from being sucked over by that streak, it allows him to get into a spot where he can actually play the post route, which is what you see right there with John Johnson. So as you can see, Washington is designed to get out in front of Juju Smith-Schuster on this, but because we impede his ability to get into his pattern, Schuster becomes the pull route, and then we can release Washington, I would say around 10, 12, 15 yards. If you go longer than that, you're going to get flagged, and truthfully, you deserve it after 5 anyway. So I don't want to hear anybody complaining about illegal contact. You guys know what you're taking the risk of doing. I'm just telling you the odds of a flag is very, very low in this game. And because of that, our middle third, which is Johnson right here in this assignment on Schuster, doesn't have to play outside of the post. He can actually run to the post route without being sucked to that left side of the field, which is going to allow you to be in an advantageous position to make this play. Now, in the event that that post is somehow still getting open, you could go ahead and just jam the post as well. Again, you could do this out of any play you want. Right now, I'm in cover 3 cloud. So again, what you're going to do is line up over the player that you want to jam. This time I'm going to jam Juju Smith-Schuster. Honestly, Juju might even have a slight advantage in the weight or the strength department over our player, which kind of is going to be maybe a little bit of a spoiler for what we're going to get into. But again, when the ball is snapped, you're going to hold up and then A, and you see right there, Juju kind of ran, you know, in a spot where actually right there, even with the bad release animation, we kind of jammed him off the grid where he ran that route kind of poorly. I'm going to go ahead and move Washington to the outside here, so that way you guys can see the same player. Again, I really think that the ideal player to do this with is going to be a high weight, high strength safety. Again, I kind of spoiled that portion of it at the beginning of the video, because even though you have an advantage in, you know, maybe the press versus release rating, you might end up in a spot where it's hard to jam some players and you might be confused. Chances are it is strength and weight. So again, here, I'm going to choose any play. This time, let's go like, obviously cover 2 can still kind of be beaten by a post, so it wouldn't make sense to call that. Let's just call cover 3 like buzz press. And I'm going to go ahead, and now we've got Washington on the outside on that post. So again, just for the sake of argument, kind of pretend that that post route has been getting open no matter what, even with us jamming the streak. You can kind of line up here on Washington, and when that ball is snapped, hold, you know, A and up, and you see right here, I could run this route. I mean, he's not going to be able to get into a spot where then they can actually bomb the throw over the top. And truthfully, once you kind of get him off of that pattern long enough, you can kind of just release him and go guard whatever your assignment is. So pay attention to what you're in. You know, if it's cover 2 and you're a vertical hook, play your vertical hook. In this example, I'm actually responsible for the curl flat. So my flat's going to be open if I don't play accordingly. Now, as I talked about, the, you know, the weight, the strength, those things definitely matter. So I'm going to show you an example of what happens if you try to do this with, you know, maybe a lighter corner against a bigger physical archetype type of receiver. In this example, Claypool, you know, he's like 6'5", 238. He only has like 76 or 78 release. And you would think that 85 press on Ward would be enough to lock this down. But because of those variables being in play, it's actually really, really difficult to get a good jam on Claypool. And you'll notice that he'll kind of run by me. So again, here's kind of our play art. I'm going to make sure that the pass rush doesn't scream. And again, kind of an inside shade. And when that ball is snapped, you're going to hold A and up. And you see that it just doesn't let me really latch on the same way. He kind of runs right through me like a bull. So you don't really want that to happen to you. So pay attention to who you're pressing. If they're a big receiver, you're going to need a safety that's just as big to be able to get those animations. So in some cases, you know, you might end up taking a look at your roster. And I don't think the Browns are going to have a guy with good, you know, that 80 press to get that super jam animation. But, you know, you take a look and try to find a guy that's got good press. Obviously in MUT, these guys are a dime a dozen. Pretty much every single safety that's in the game is going to have super high press. Obviously in regs, you're going to struggle a little bit more with that. Plus Claypool's a monster. He's, you know, almost 240 pounds. So really hard to press a guy like him. In the case of Juju Smith-Schuster, we saw that we had a hard time latching onto him. If you're looking for an explanation of why that might be the case, he is 215 pounds. So he's rather thick himself. So that is most certainly the reason why, even though he's losing by 5 in the release versus jam. So again, pay attention. I would probably keep a high press safety with good weight, you know, 225 to 230 on your roster, just to be sure that you can press a lot of these receivers that maybe weigh 210, 215, as opposed to running some of those nickel corners that maybe weigh 205, 210 at the most. You know, you want to make sure that you're, you know, pretty heavy, 220, 225, maybe even 230, with high press in Ultimate team. But obviously in regs, you know, use your best press player possible. Pick ideal candidates. Don't try to jam guys that are bigger than you. And you guys are going to really love this tip. So I hope you guys did. If you did, make sure you guys drop a like. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. As always, we'll see you guys tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.